Hey everyone, I am Lou, and I hope you are all doing really, really well today. This is my first video recording for YouTube, and I thought I would just jump on and just say whatever comes, which is pretty much my style. I am an artist, a therapist, mindfulness teacher, and a mystic. My life is very, very different from the one that I previously was living. I left a more conventional life. I went from living in the southeast of England and commuting into London every day, working for a charity. Now I am currently living on a sheep small holding in Wales and leading a very unconventional life. And there was no plan. I just followed my heart. 12 years ago, after going through a particularly challenging number of years, I got the pull to come back home to my homeland and for a fresh start. And it was certainly that. It wasn't what I was expecting, but a path that I was meant to follow. If that had been shown to me before, I would have run a mile. No way. Too hard. I often have said that over the subsequent years. This is too hard. I don't want it. I want to go back to having a normal life, which didn't fulfill me or make me happy. A lot of people stay in comfort zones that they're not meant to stay in, which should actually be called uncomfortable zones, because they're not comfortable in the sense of making you feel fully alive, fulfilled, happy. Yet it's easier to stick to what feels safe, what you know, rather than having to go through the fear and the uncertainty of stepping into the unknown. Well, I definitely stepped into the unknown. When I moved back to Wales, nothing was going to stop me. In order to do that, I had to walk away from my very secure, well-paid job into nothing. And moved back. I'd already qualified as a hypnotherapist, and I'd been practicing alongside my full-time work. I was determined that I was going to set up in practice no matter what. And so I did. And I got divorced, became a single parent who was trying to make a go of her business. And it wasn't easy, but I kept going. Then COVID came. And the so I practiced from closed down. Then I was invited to write a well-being column by a dear friend for a group of local newspapers to support people through whatever they were experiencing during the pandemic. coping with uncertainty, with life change, bereavement, and loss. And this well-being column just organically evolved into a book. I somehow found myself taking this long sabbatical in order to write a book, which I'd never, ever had any intention of doing, never really thought about it. And whilst I was out walking in nature, during that time, I would take photographs, and then I started to convert them into digital artwork. And I was getting these downloads, usually when I was in the shower, these inspirational reflections or quotes would just come. So I would have to leap out of the shower and quickly get them down before they went. So I married those up with the digital images, and they went in the book. I knew there was something significant about this book, that it would somehow form the foundation of something for me. And I just kept following the flow. Then I was guided to move on to creating art on canvases with acrylics. And that was the next phase. I moved out here to the countryside. It was the perfect place to do that because I had the space to paint. And it just took over my life. For the first year, I would paint sometimes up to 14 hours. I never knew what I was going to paint. Hearts are at the core of the artwork. And there is a powerful energy to my art. I'm also a healer. So it was like it was the energy of the art that was the thing. And people to my art, they would feel the healing energy of the resonance of that. For me, it was very cathartic. It was transformative. Not always easy to, because I would go through deep purging of emotions. So it was a powerful catalyst for a lot of things. During this time, my focus had to be 100% on this. So it was challenging financially, but it didn't stop me. I knew that this was what I was meant to be doing. The time it has taught me patience, trusting in the process, trusting that everything works out when you're following your heart and your path that you know deep in your soul you're meant to be on. So it's like these are all my raw materials that I'm pulling together. The book, the quotes, the artwork. As hard as it's been, it's been the most fulfilling period of my life. I'm in my late 50s. And it's only now that I'm really stepping into who I really am and what I was meant to do here. But everything that's gone in the past all leads to it. I was a nurse. I've always been drawn to caring, to healing, to making a difference. And with age comes new insights and new wisdom. Never think it's too late. Never feel that you've got to do something by a certain age. You're always exactly where you're meant to be at the right time. You're not ready until you're ready. I wouldn't have been ready for this 20 years ago. I wouldn't have been able to have handled it. I wouldn't have had the inner resilience because I wouldn't have done the inner work to prepare me, even though back then I probably already was doing some without realizing it. Also going through some really, really tough experiences prepared me, which has enabled me to have a deep empathy for others going through major life crises and change. What I now fully understand is all this was necessary for me to live it, to walk it, in order that I in turn can go out and support others. And that's what has kept me going during the darkest moments. If you're going through a difficult time, challenging time, don't stop. Keep going. I sincerely hope that some of what I've shared with you has been helpful to you too. So much love to you all from my heart.